My neighborhood is actually right around the corner from Stoneman Douglas High School, where this shooting took place. I'm actually standing outside of the Marriott. Now, this is less than a mile away from the school. This is where parents are urged to come to find out any information about their kids that were inside the school when this happened. Parents are being urged to come here to get updates about their loved ones who were inside when that shooting happened. If we could zoom in inside this hotel, you could see there are still dozens of parents waiting for answers. I spoke with a student who says he was hiding in a closet to make sure the shooter didn't get to him, and he was on the phone with his mom the entire time. Here is video from when a SWAT team entered a classroom, forcing them to put their hands up while they were escorted to another area. Ronnie Delator tells me he was in a classroom when this happened.
I didn't know what to do, honestly. Even if the shooter did come into my classroom, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like blank, as if I was like, I couldn't think. I didn't know. I was like just scared. I was angry, like why?
And he tells me he has known the alleged shooter, Nicholas Cruz, since middle school. And he says he used to joke about shooting up the school.
Always was very off in the head, and in middle school I remember he threw a brick at one of my teacher's classrooms, and was always getting in trouble, getting expelled from school last year, and then all the other trouble he got in, and they always used to make jokes supposedly about shooting up the school since like 8th grade. So I guess people didn't take him serious and he shot up school.
Delator tells me he knows of at least 2 teachers who jumped in front of bullets to save students. He says those people are the true heroes today. At this time, he, along with several other parents, are waiting to find out if their loved ones are okay after the shooting that happened at Stoneman Douglas High School today. And we will continue to be out here covering this developing story for you. Live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, CBS 47 Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Danielle, you've spoken with families who say that it's hard to explain exactly how they're feeling.
Yeah, right now there's really no words for how everybody is feeling right now. It's definitely a very sad day in Broward County. Within the last 5 minutes, 2 more officers arrived on scene here. You could see there's still a perimeter around this school blocked off as officers continue to investigate inside this high school where that deadly shooting happened. They are, and before we get to that, I want to show you some flowers that were just dropped off. A man within the past 15 minutes dropped off this bouquet of flowers near the school. He tells me his co-worker's daughter died during this school shooting. Now, I also spoke with a student who tells me that he was inside the school hiding in a closet away from the gunman. Ronnie Delator tells me he was hiding until a SWAT team came and knocked down the door. Everyone was forced to put their hands up and move to another room. He tells me his friend was in a classroom and watched the alleged gunman, Nicholas Cruz, try to get inside that room to get to students. He tells me he's still in shock over what happened.
I feel like it's very surreal because, you talk about it and, terribly enough, you joke about it, and you hear about it, you see it on the news, when it unfortunately does happen. You think to yourself, a small town like Parkland or whatever city, like being so protected or, just very closed off, and for it to happen here, it just mind boggled me. It's like, it's insane.
And school is closed the rest of the week. Right now, you're getting a better look at the high school this morning. You could see the parking lot packed with vehicles from those students who still have yet to be able to get their cars after that deadly shooting. Now, we will continue to be out here all morning long bringing you updates, so stay with Action News Jax. For now, live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, Fox 30, Action News Jax. And students are starting to show up at this school this morning with their parents, just recounting the memories about what happened yesterday. It's extremely hard to hear the details of what went on in this high school. Within the last 10 minutes, the governor also arrived on scene. scene. He's talking with other media outlets out here. But we are continuing to hear stories of the true heroes inside this high school behind me. Students and parents continue to show up to this high school the morning after that deadly shooting, sharing their stories about what happened inside. Now, I'm going to give you a look over here. Now, this is a bouquet of roses that a man dropped off at this school. He said his co-worker's daughter died in that high school during the shooting. A mother tells me that she was told after lunch yesterday that there is a shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School. Both of her sons go here. She says at first she thought it was a joke, but then she called her sons. One said he was able to run away. Her other son says he was hiding in the closet away from the gunman. She was on the phone with him the entire time.
Just reassuring him that he was going to be fine, that I was going to get to him, not to worry, just trying to keep him calm. And then, of course, you put the phone on mute to shed your tears, to pray to God that everything's going to be okay.
And fortunately, her son did make it out okay. The school closed the rest of the week, obviously. Governor Rick Scott is also on scene here, walking around outside this high school, talking to people who continue to show up at this high school. We will continue to be live out here all morning long, so stay with Action News Jax for updates. Live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, Fox 30, Action News Jax. The two crossing guards tell me that they were here around 2:25 yesterday afternoon. They were standing right over here by the entrance of the school. You could see that red poster. That's where they say they were standing when they heard about 10 quick shots. They said it sounded more like pops, and that's when they saw about 8 students running toward them. They helped them climb over that bench you're seeing on your screen, escaping the gunfire. Students are also showing up, telling their stories about how they hid from the gunman.
So as soon as I was about to step out the building, some teachers pulled me aside saying it was a code red and that there was a threat on campus. So I immediately went into hiding inside a storage room. And about 10 minutes in, I learned that 3 people got killed by this man. And it took me a while to process it, and I'm still trying to take it in right now.
And Governor Rick Scott was also just on scene. We caught up with him. He said what's important to him is that everyone stays safe.
What's important to me is that we make sure this never happens again. We have got to figure out in this country how to make sure our schools are safe. I want every parent to wake up every day in this state and say, I know that my child can go to a safe school. We've got to stop this violence. I know that we have to make sure we do not impact anybody's constitutional rights, but I want every parent in the state to know that their child is going to go to a safe school.
Close to 100 students are outside Broward South High School protesting gun control. These students actually missing class to stand out here and protest. You could hear them chanting behind me saying, "Justice for Douglas." Now I'm going to move out of the way so you can see some of these signs. Some of the signs are reading, "It could have been your child. It could have been us." Now they're chanting, "It could have been me." People are asking for them to hear their voices to get gun control. Students have been saying since Wednesday, this is the time to step up to have a conversation about gun control. They're making their pleas to Congress to hear them out and take their requests seriously so gun violence can end. Even yesterday, Governor Rick Scott said he wants to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. And he's going to have conversations in Tallahassee about how to make sure people with mental illnesses don't get their hands on guns. Students tell me something must change.
Gun reform, we want to ban assault rifles, we want to vote out legislators from Congress who are funded by the NRA, and we want stronger mental health background checks when people here just because we shouldn't have to get school for this, but we don't feel safe in our schools. We don't feel safe as citizens of the United States right now.
Senator Bill Nelson was also at Stoneman Douglas earlier. He said with all of these students speaking out about gun control, this may be the turning point because enough is enough. And these students, you could hear them chanting now, "We want change." And they're hoping that will happen soon. Live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, CBS 47 Action News Jax. There are 17 crosses on the lawn behind me, one for each victim. I'm going to move out of the way so you could get a better look at this growing memorial. People have been showing up all day, dropping off flowers and lighting candles in memory of the ones who lost their lives. And across the county, students took a stand against the violence. Close to 100 students skipped out on class Friday.
We shouldn't have to miss school for this, but we don't feel safe in our schools.
Their mission, change.
We want to ban assault rifles. We want to vote out legislators from Congress who are funded by the NRA.
Students lined the streets as police tried to keep the crowd under control. Signs read, "This could have been me," and "We stand with Stoneman Douglas."
That could have been me. I was supposed to go to Stoneman Douglas.
Desley Perez grew up with Jamie Guttenberg, one of the 17 victims killed in the shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School.
By far, like, one of the sweetest girls I ever knew. Every time she was in the room, it would just like fill the joy and laughter.
She says Wednesday afternoon she got a text from a friend about the shooting and then found out her friend didn't make it.
It was really sad, just knowing, like, we were really close, and it's just sad.
A senseless act of violence, Perez says, will fuel her push to fight for more gun control.
We're going to prevent this, and we're going to fight with love.
And just to put things into perspective, those students that you just saw were protesting 45 minutes away from where the shooting happened at Stoneman Douglas High School. It just really goes to show how the whole county and even state are coming together after this senseless tragedy. Live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, CBS 47 Action News Jax. And people keep showing up, adding to this growing memorial for the victims. At this park, there has also been grief counselors and comfort dogs to help with that healing process. 17 crosses, one for each victim killed in the shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School. People from throughout the community have been showing up to this park all day, laying flowers by the crosses and lighting candles in memory of the victims.
It hurts my heart, like, a lot. I'm speechless about it. I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest.
For student Rebecca Bogart, she still hasn't wrapped her head around what happened at her school.
I don't believe it or want to believe it. I just want to wake up from this nightmare.
We have been showing you this video since Wednesday. It was taken inside one of the classrooms that was shot into. Bogart tells me she was hiding under a desk while it happened.
Once I saw my windows, like, all of them shatter, I just heard lots of screaming, but I didn't really know what was happening.
7 people were shot in her classroom.
Just horrifying. Just like not knowing what's happening, what's going on. So scary.
More than 48 hours later, she and a friend came to drop off flowers for their friends who didn't make it. Both of them wearing shirts that say Parkland Strong. And that's how they described their community.
I feel like everyone's so connected.
And students tell me being here helps them heal. They say what helps most is being able to talk about what they went through at Stoneman Douglas High School. Live in Broward County, Danielle Avitable, CBS 47 Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I don't believe it or want to believe it. I just want to wake up from this nightmare.
Students are still in shock more than 48 hours after a gunman opened fire at Stoneman Douglas High School.
He was going through the hallways and shooting through the windows and the doors.
Rebecca Bogart tells me she was inside this classroom. 7 of her friends were shot. Victim Nicholas Dworet was one of them.
He was like sitting right next to me beforehand. So I just want to put this down for him.
Flowers and candles have been placed next to these crosses in memory of those who lost their lives. The community coming together after a senseless tragedy.
It just like feels good when people like come up to you, like you don't even know the person, and be like I appreciate like all this and everything. Like it's good.
And across the county, dozens of students in Hollywood missed class Friday to protest for stricter gun laws.
I think adults seeing that students are taking a stand and protesting, it's something that you don't see often.
They're hopeful their message will be heard loud and clear before another school shooting can happen.
We're going to prevent this, and we're going to fight with love.
In Broward County, Danielle Avitable, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.